Hello, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be taking you through a game played by Emory Tate back in 2001. The opponent with the white pieces is Terrie, and Mr. Tate has the black pieces. This game was played on August 12th in 2001 in Framingham, Massachusetts in the 102nd US Open. So let's get right to it and let's see how Tate responds to the English opening. He starts with a quiet d6. Natural development by Terrie with the white pieces, moving the knight to c3, and Tate takes space in the center, and after a few more developing moves he plays this interesting g5 move, a solid move taking advantage of the fact that Terrie has not yet played d4 or d3 himself, and so he doesn't have the minor pieces to attack this pawn, and so black gets away with a little bit of space advantage here due to white electing to move his minor pieces quick. White strikes in the center, to which black pushes this knight back to its home square. It has no good squares to go to aside from potentially d2, but that blocks in the bishop and kind of defeats the purpose, and so Terrie just elects to go home. With this loss of tempo, black gets a nice fianchetto here, and after we relieve tension in the center, black's sitting at a comfortable position, and he's managed to hang on to his g-pawn and create some space here on the king side. e4 by Terrie is responded to with f5, and after white captures, he plays a very subtle queen to e7 with ideas of discovered checks. You know, nothing too fancy here. White just blocks, and after Tate elects to capture, we have the recapture of the f-pawn with the bishop. A nice developing move with tempo, still keeping some good space advantage with the idea to eventually push the h-pawn and kind of start a kingside attack here on white. Bishop e3 followed by knight c6, knight g3, and bishop d7. Just getting out of harm's way and consolidating all of his pieces and keeping them nice and active. Bishop to e2 attacks the pawn and puts a little bit of pressure, looking to castle. h5 naturally, like we said, Tate wants to expand here on the king side and put pressure. Looks like he's going long this game. Queen to c2 is not a very good move. The reason being, it doesn't really accomplish anything. White has a good grip on these light squares here with the light squared bishop, and with natural developing moves coming, c2 doesn't bring anything. Castles probably was better, or even the subtle h4, trying to break up this strong attack here that Tate's starting to create here on the king side. Tate elects to castle himself, and after knight f5, he just sidesteps the threat. Nothing too big. Relieving the pressure here is no good because the queen gets active with a check, and after the king moves, the queen's just in a really active spot, and white's going to have a good, comfortable game. So here, Tate decides to finally develop his g knight, just supporting this knight, so after an exchange, he can recapture. White finally castles, but here Tate has these pawns that are pushing, and so Tate takes immediate advantage of having a nice strong front line, basically, as he's going to just shove his way towards the white side king. White can't allow this, and so after a couple of exchanges, we get to this tension between the two bishops, and Tate just relieves that tension right away, and we start moving towards an end game where Tate has this strong push going and a comfortable king. Really, it's pretty balanced here. Tate looks to open things up on the h file. White's trying to put a little bit of pressure on the b file and maybe see if he can crack an attack on the black king here. And a very strong h3 played by Tate. He's got a lot of pressure here on the king side. Looking for a queen trade. Terrie's trying to get major pieces off the board, especially if Tate can manage to break into this soft spot that's been created by white. The queen will be a very powerful piece, and we'll have, you imagine if we were to play moves like this, I mean, black's just crushing here. So he sidesteps, and with the check, he elects to block, and we get ourselves into this end game. And you're going to see a couple moves here as the players shuffle pieces around, obviously not hanging the rook. And after a few trades, and white steps away from this tension here, Tate decides to double up his rooks. And this is an interesting point in the game because after the exchange, the game is fairly even. Black has this, white has this 3v2, but black has all the space here on the king side, and he has these isolated doubled pawns to work with. And so I think the computer evaluation here gives black a -1.5, -2, and so black's fairly comfortable. White develops his rook, and after c5 by Tate, white blunders. And you can pause the video here and see if you can find why this is a blunder. Tate found it, and it's an excellent move. It's a tremendous move, and really illustrates why Tate was known as kind of an attacking genius, and why Andrew Tate says he never saw his father studying books or trying to learn how to be a better theory master, but rather he just played attacking chess and found nice sacrifices and nice variations. So hopefully you found it. It's rook to e1, a very nice sacrifice, because after king captures, pawn captures, and in this position white resigned. Now, why did white resign? Because there's no way you can stop black from queening. There's no defense that works. No matter what white tries, black's coming in with a queen. He's going to gobble up these pawns. He's going to have checks because he's going to have a G pawn that he's going to easily be able to defend, and white just can't hang on in this position. Even trying something like this doesn't work. And after the king dodges, the queen's just gonna gobble up the pawns and gonna be able to roam around and have way more pressure than the white rook. So hope you enjoyed this game. I found it to be quite pleasing. This was an interesting tournament. Hikaru Nakamura was in this tournament as well in the 2001 US Open. So hopefully we'll cover a few more games here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next video.